Imagine a brand new home builder walks into my office and they say to me, Seth, I need to get leads, but they don't have a website, they don't have Google presence, they don't have a social media account, they have nothing. So what's the solution? That's what we're gonna cover today. I'm gonna give you the actionable steps on what I would do if I was in your position and I started from absolutely zero, and what my game plan would be from day 0 to day 30. And by the end of day 30, you'll have everything in place to start getting leads that are high quality, that actually turn into signed deals for your business. So let's get into it. Now, I wanna be real with you. 30 days isn't enough time to build a marketing machine that's gonna spit out a massive amount of leads for you. Nor is it enough time for you to get a signed contract from new marketing efforts. The realistic expectation from this video that I want you to take is that it does take consistency. Oftentimes what we find in the custom home space is the average sales process is about 180 to 270 days long, from taking a complete stranger and getting them into a signed project. So, enter this video with that knowledge. The idea is to start at day 0 and get to day 270 where they sign on that dotted line for you. And today, I'm gonna teach you how you can actually get people to that day 0 where you can meet them. That's what we're gonna cover. So let me tell you a quick story of how we actually implemented this for somebody, and it truly did work. So we have a builder in Phoenix, Arizona, and this builder started with literally nothing. They were second generation, they'd just taken it over from their father, and they didn't have a website, they didn't have a social media account, they had nothing except for some relationships. And they needed to scale. They were stuck at that like 2 to 3 builds per year mark, where they had a job. That's truly what it was. It wasn't a business. And they wanted to create something that was a predictable marketing machine, not just a guesswork marketing machine where it's like, I hope I get a referral from Johnny, but I don't really have any control over it. And they wanted to switch it to be, wow, I can put an extra $10,000 into my marketing this year, and I know that that's gonna equal an extra 2 builds for me. That's what I want you to create. So let's jump into it. How would we start? The first thing from day 1 that you need to start is go and create a social media profile. You need to have a Facebook page and you need to have an Instagram account. It is vital. The next thing that you're gonna do also on day 1 is create a Google business profile and begin getting that verified. The next thing that you're gonna wanna do is make sure that you have a house account, as well as you can be listed on BBB, and you can be listed on any other directories where people might be looking for you in your local area. So if you have any local community pages or local websites where you can have a directory listing, it's very vital that you set all that up. So now that you have all of these set up, you have your social medias, you got your Google business profile, you got your BBB account, you got your house account, all of them are gonna be completely blank right now. What you need to do is you need to become active. So I would recommend you get comfortable being in front of the camera. Now this might be super uncomfortable for a lot of people watching this, but this is the differentiator that you need to use to separate yourself from every other builder in the market. If you can be authentic and talk about your experience and why you're passionate about what you do on camera, that is a one-to-many action. If you have a conversation with somebody face-to-face at a networking event, this is a one-to-one action. You are limited by time. But with social media, you have the ability to do one action that can be shown to many people. It is an online stage. And so, being comfortable on camera is important. You're going to need to start making videos. This type of stuff is what separates you. It gets you out there and it builds trust. So I recommend you start making videos. It's a completely free option for you to get yourself out there. So now that we've come up with that, I want you to create a social media strategy using ChatGPT or Claude. I'm gonna put something in the description of this video that'll be a free resource that will help you generate a social media plan for your company. The next thing that you're gonna wanna do with your house account, your BBB account, as well as your Google business profile is you're going to need to get reviews. And you might need to bribe people to get you reviews, but it is vital that you get high quality reviews on these platforms. And when I say high quality, I mean not just somebody clicking 5 stars and hitting post. There has to be some content, a story, something that warrants that review that's on there, that when people check out your reviews, they can actually read through it and it has some substance to it. Now, a lot of people get this very wrong, where they think they can only get Google reviews and BBB reviews from past clients. But realistically, you as a home builder, you deal with more than just your homeowners. You also deal with sub-trades. You also deal with referral partners. These are people that are still interacting with your business in a positive way on a day-to-day basis. They can reference their experience working with you. Were they paid on time? Have everybody that they sent your way been treated properly? These are real reasons to get Google reviews. These are legitimate reviews that if somebody reads them, and if I were to go and I'm reading a Google review and I see, wow, this guy's been working with his framer for 5 years and he's paid him on time every single time, that Google review could actually mean more to me than a customer saying that they had an all right experience with you. So go get reviews on all of those platforms. That is day 1. Now let's talk about day 2 to day 5. This is going to be where we build the foundation of your marketing strategy. So, number 1 thing that you are going to need to do is identify who is your customer. And so I want to also empower you to figure out your ICP. Your ICP is your ideal customer persona. And when you can figure out your ICP, everything else becomes gravy. I just rhymed there. I hope that made sense to you. So, your ICP is very, very detailed if you do it properly. You should know that your ideal customer, his name is John. My ideal customer's name is John. He has 3 kids that have moved out. John is 57 years old. He is married. He makes $180,000 a year. He's a retired executive or retired business owner, and he values craftsmanship. He values ease of process. He doesn't want a second job. He wants an experience that's not a headache, but gets good craftsmanship. Okay, so now once you have your ICP, now we can figure out your marketing strategy. Because now all we have to figure out, how does John like to be communicated to? What type of stuff does John value? Okay, let's touch on those pain points that John is facing. And you can use that all throughout your marketing, in your website copy, in your blog strategy, in your social media strategy, in everything that you put out will cater to your ICP. So that when John lands on your website, you're speaking right to him and he'll spend more time reading your website. And when John reads your blog, it's actually on topics that resonate with him, that hit on points that he is interested in. We don't want to shotgun spread the market. You want to pull a sniper rifle out and you want to pick off your ideal clients. And so I challenge you from day 2 to day 5 to really think about your ICP. Go deep on this. The other exercise I want to push you to do to build a foundation off of is figuring out your core values as a company, your mission statement, and your headline. The other thing that I want to challenge you to do, sorry, Addie, I'm just going to re-say that exact thing again. My apologies, brother. The other thing that I want to challenge you to do is to figure out your core values, your mission statement, as well as your company tagline. These are very, very important to show people the direction that you're taking your company and what makes you different. And so once you can figure those out, it will allow your marketing to be a lot more easy to understand. And so that is what I'm going to get you to do from day 2 to day 5. All right. So from day 5 to day 14, I want you to focus on getting a website. A website is going to be a lot of the times the first interaction that people are going to have with your company. And so your website is in a very, very vital part to your marketing strategy. It needs to, again, align with what John wants to read when he lands on your site. And it also needs to be something that's findable. If you have a website that is beautiful, but there's no highways to it, it's like building a big, beautiful store in the middle of the forest with no roads to get there. It doesn't do anybody any good. they have no way of finding you. And so what we're going to talk about first is how to build that big, beautiful store. And then I'm going to show you how to build the highway right to the front door so you can get customers walking in and buying from you. So with the website, the homepage is going to be your landing page. Now, don't overthink your website too much. There's a lot of different avenues that you can go, and you can spend a lot of money for a very mediocre website. It's not needed in your position. Maybe in the future, it will make sense for you to invest in a higher quality website, but if you are just getting started and you don't have any of this set up yet, a basic website built through Wix or Squarespace, or even using AI, if you're tech literate, a website built on Manus AI could be very sufficient for you. And so these website builders like Wix, Squarespace, or Manus are going to be your best options. Now focus on the copy. The copy are the words that go into the site. We believe at Home Builder Marketers that you should follow StoryBrand. This is an amazing book written by a guy named Donald Miller, where he talks about flipping the script on how marketing works for a lot of companies, where they make themselves the main character, and switching that to make the homeowner the main character and the home builder, you, the guide in the story. And so your website copy should represent that, all catering to making John the main character. It shouldn't be when somebody lands on your website, look at us, we're the best builder, blah, 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 blah. That doesn't help John. John wants to live in the house that he wants to live in. That's beautiful, and he has a problem and he needs to solve that. And when I keep referencing to John, I'm referencing to the ICP that we talked about earlier in the video, just for reference. So everything that goes into your website content-wise should cater to John and should also follow the StoryBrand concept. So we'll also link some prompts that you can use in the description of this video that you can take to go and create the content and the copy throughout your website. But all you need to do is really start with like 5 to 10 pages. Don't go crazy off the start. Your home page, your About Us page, your service page, a gallery, and a Contact Us. Anything on top of that is great, but not even necessarily needed for the foundation to be set. So now it's day 14. You have your website done, you have your ICP figured out, you have your social media started, you have a good foundation with the local directories. Now let's jump into actually driving some traffic to your website and getting more eyeballs on your company. So let's talk SEO. SEO can be very, very technical. I'm not asking you to be technical. All we need to do is get you more directory listings. So this is something that's more time consuming, though you can pay to speed it up. But there are softwares like Yext that will allow you to index yourself into multiple directories all at once. Yext, I believe, is like $50 a month. It's worth every single cent. The next thing that you want to look into, once you have listed yourself in all these directories and making sure that all the information is correct, is we then need to go back to the website. You need to have a blog. Your blog on your website will help new content be posted regularly, which Google loves to see to make sure that your site can be found. So what I'm going to recommend is that you post at least one blog per week. And we can use AI to do a lot of the heavy lifting for this, but you want to make sure that your blog strategy is actually going to create results for you. I see so many sporadic blog content that's just put out there willy-nilly that doesn't do anything. They're posting just for posting's sake. You need to have strategy behind what you're actually putting out in your blog. So what I recommend is you create blogs on pain points that your customers are facing. Also, searchable things. So a great blog would be like, how long does it take to build a home in my area? Or like, enter your area, like your city. Like, how long does it take to build a home in Houston, Texas? That is a great blog topic. How much does it cost to build a home in Houston, Texas? Another amazing blog topic. How do I build a home with the flood zones that are something along those lines in Houston, Texas? Whatever it may be. But your blog topics should be searchable. It should hit on pain points that your customers are facing. That is how you can structure a good blog strategy. Now, I recommend you play a lot with AI. We recommend you use Claude. It's very worth it for the paid version, and use it to come up with blog ideas. And you can also use it to do a lot of the heavy lifting for the content for the first draft of the actual blog. You need to follow best SEO practices by doing what's called interlinking, as well as you want to use images in your blog, and you want to ideally use a lot of keywords within your blog too. But don't just generate the blog with AI and press post. This is a no-no. You want to still make it human. You want to make it your own. You want to read through it and edit it and make it so that it's your own, because Google can tell if you've literally just copied from Claude and posted it onto your website. You don't want to do that. And so once you have this SEO strategy down pat, where you've created the next 12 months of blogs, you have your business in all of these different directories with Yext, the next thing that we need to focus on is something called backlinks. Now, backlinks, this is starting to get more into the technical range, and you can hire people to get backlinks for you, but be very, very careful. There are something called blacklisted backlinks, where people just buy a bunch of really low quality backlinks that end up hurting you more than they do helping you. And it's very, very hard to reverse this once you've done this damage. A lot of the times when people approach us and they've done this, it's a lot easier for us to just start from fresh on a whole new domain than it is trying to fix their current one. So let's talk about the best way for you to get backlinks. I would recommend that you do some research with Claude and figure out how you can do this, how you can get organic backlinks, and how you can maybe pay for some high quality backlinks in local directories, in local websites in your area. Local backlinks are very, very good, but you want to put effort towards getting backlinks. The best way to audit your website's domain authority, which shows how many backlinks you have, is a plugin on your website called Ahrefs. A-H-E-R-F-S. Ahrefs. I believe I spelt that wrong. If I didn't, we'll put an edit. But Ahrefs will show your domain authority on your website. Google, and I'm not gonna try and go on a super long tangent here, I wanna keep this very practical for you, but Google takes two things into account mainly, and any SEO experts in here, they're gonna know there's a lot more. I understand that, but let's break this down and make it simple to understand. There's two main things that are taken into account on when one website ranks above another on Google when there's a search that's made. First is relevant content. If there's 5 websites that have relevant content, the second thing that's taken into account is domain authority. How authoritative is that website? Because that determines, if there's the 5 websites and they all have great content that's relevant to the search, well, why does one get ranked above another? Domain authority is like the number one thing. Aside from, there's a few other things that are taken into account, I understand, but those are the main two. So your backlinks touch on domain authority, your blogs touch on relevant content. That's why we need to focus on them. So once you have a good, solid SEO strategy that's repeatable, that you can do over and over again, that's the biggest thing, is it needs to be something that's repeatable, not just something you do one time and then forget about it. You have to have a repeatable system. And that's what I want you to create from day 14 to day 21, is create a repeatable system that you can implement every single week, every single month into your website for your SEO strategy. Now let's jump into day 21 to day 31. This is going to be where the magic really happens. What you want to do from day 21 to day 31, and then in the last 10 days of the month, are going to be focusing on meta advertising. And so what I want you to do is be creating video ads. Video ads can be shot very wrong. And so I'm going to give you the framework on what we found after working with 160 other builders on what works. So I have a whole video course that I want you to digest that you can go through. It'll take 1 to 3 days to go through and implement, but you need to be willing to be in the video, and you need to be willing to shoot ideally 10 to 15 videos to start to run a proper meta advertising campaign, which is what we're going to talk about. So you want to shoot 10 to 15 videos, and then you want to edit those on CapCut, and we give you everything that you need to do in the description in that video course. Then we want to set your campaign up properly to target your ICP properly. And then the next thing, this will be the most time-consuming part, is you need to have a follow-up system in place that nurtures these leads when they come in. Because if you engage the lead within 5 minutes, your chance of getting an appointment increased by over 500%. So rather than you having to be a full-time salesperson that phones leads at the drop of a hat. You need to instead create a system that automates it so that the automation engages the leads and it sounds like it's personally coming from you. And so imagine this. This is how this would look. You have a beautiful video ad that follows StoryBrand, that caters to their needs and it builds empathy. You understand where they're at, you can help them get to where they want to go. That builds interest. That shows up on their mobile feed on Facebook, okay? Somebody sees that and they're interested. They click on it. A form pops up. That form qualifies them. We're able to then ask them some questions. How soon do you want to build? You give them 4 ranges. What is your ideal budget? You give them some more ranges that they can pick from. Do you have your floor plans? Or do you have the lot secured? Or do you have your design plans? Whatever it may be. Another qualifying question. Okay? They hit submit. They then get put into your automation where we'll set you up with a whole CRM as well. That lead is then funneled into the CRM. CRM stands for Customer Relationship Management Tool. If you've ever heard of HubSpot or Salesforce, it's very similar to one of those, though we use Go High Level. I recommend you use it as well. I can give you an account for $1 per month. I couldn't make it free. I promise you I'm not getting rich off your $1. Anyway, they see the ad, they click on it, it comes into Go High Level. Go High Level sends them a text message and an email within 5 minutes. It sounds like it's personally coming from you. You set a little bit of a time delay, so it's not instantaneous, but it's soon enough where it feels like you care and that you're like on top of things. And that, if handled properly, will start a lot of conversations for you. You can tie your website into the CRM as well, set the nurturing up there. But if you set all of this up properly, you'll be having your social media working, bringing new people, new eyeballs onto your brand. Your SEO will get you in front of new people that are actively searching for anything to do with home building. You'll have all of your directories everywhere where anybody's searching for you or for your services or for a new home or whatever it may be, they can find you and they can see your reviews on there. You will then also have your SEO strategy driving all people and all traffic to your website. That is set up in a way that caters to them and they feel heard and they're meant out to be the main character in the story, which ideally leads them into filling out the form. The next thing is the meta advertising. This is paying to get you in front of more eyeballs, which will then funnel, again, back into the CRM, into your website, creating more leads for you, starting conversations. Now, again, this isn't an instant fix. This is something that will take time. This is just the month 1 of setting it all up. You need to stay consistent with this for 12, 18, 24 months to get really, really great results. And it's also not free. You're gonna have to put money into the advertising on Facebook to get in front of new people. You're gonna have to pay Yext to get your directory listings. You might even have to hire a video crew to come and shoot some of the content if you're not comfortable doing it yourself. You might have to hire an actor to be in the videos. There are costs associated with it. But if you follow this to a T, this will yield results. I can promise you that. It might not be instant, but if you stick with it 12, 18 months, it will yield results. It will get you qualified appointments. And so I hope you got value from this video. If you truly have any questions for me, message me. Go into the comments on this video. We'll be active in there and we'll respond to anything that you ask us. I hope that you got value from this video because here at Home Builder Marketers, we are on a mission to help 10,000 home builders reach more than 10 custom homes per year. So if you align with that, make sure that you like this video, you subscribe to us here so that future content like this gets promoted to you because we truly want to help you. And if you have any questions about how we could set this up for you, if you'd rather instead do it yourself, you want to hire us to do it for you, that is also an option. You can visit us at homebuildermarketers.com and you can book a discovery call from there where we can jump in to a call and break down what this would look like for you. I appreciate you watching. Thank you.